All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
And good evening, one and all, and welcome back to the X Zone. I am Rob McConnell, and for the next 2 hours, I'm your host and your guide as together we will cross the time-space continuum to this place that I call the X Zone. It's a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. It's a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. The X Zone comes to you Monday through Friday from 10 p.m. Eastern until midnight, right here on the X Zone Broadcast Network, Voice of Canada Broadcast Network, and of course, our good friends on your hometown radio, Classic 1220, CFAJ in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada, who stream us on classic1220.ca. If you'd like to send me an email, xzone at Xzone Radio TV, and on all social media sites, Xzone Radio TV. And if you would like to listen to all the programming that we have with all the shows that we produce here on the Xzone Broadcast Network, we have everything from ghosts, hauntings, UFOs, and much more, and old-time radio classics. Just go to www.xzbn.net. Exonation, my first guest is Marzcia Techau, and she is in Copenhagen. We're going to be talking to her about everything from healing and spiritual teaching to ghost hauntings and things that go bump in the night. Joining me now is Marzcia. And Marzcia, welcome to the X Zone.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Rob.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh yeah, it's I've been working as a spiritual medium and healer for the last 23 years, and I'm also educated biologist. So I have been working with healing and biology for a while as well. So my master thesis was distant healing research on plants, and in that way I have been combined those two areas for the most of my life.
So when you were young, did you ever think that you would be doing the work that you're doing when it comes to, the clairvoyant work you do? You're a healer, you're a Reiki master, you're a somatic, all these things that you do to help people at different stages in their life. Did you have an idea that you were going to be doing all this?
No, not at all, actually. I was a highly sensitive person, or little girl at that time. And I was a little intimidated by people. I loved being with animals and being in nature. And I never thought I should work with people at all, because I found them very overwhelming to be with. But when I started to actually accept the skills or abilities that I have and learned how to use them, then I found that this empathy and way of being a channel for healing or the spirit world is one of the big gifts that I have, and I really, really love working with the spirit world to help people and help the world. So it's like a totally turn of my feelings for being me, and also for my work when I started to got the training in healing and clairvoyant work and mediumship as well. So I really love doing what I do now, and I really see the difference that happens when I work together with the spirit world.
And how did you discover that you had these gifts and that you were able to help people? What happened in your life that kind of, pushed you in that direction?
When I was 18, I had a dream about a death that went through, and I also had one when I was 19. So before because animal was some of my best friends, for me it was really intense when some of the animals were dying. And when I was 18, I traveled to Iceland because I had been riding Icelandic horses for many years of my life at that time as well. And I wanted to go to Iceland when I was finished with what would be like high school in Denmark. And when I had 1 week left of the journey, I dreamt that my sheep back in Denmark was dying. And I sent a postcard home to my parents with the note that to my sheep that I was actually coming home in a week, so she should, keep on hanging there. I didn't know she was sick at all. She wasn't sick when I left. And what happened was that my parents, when they were driving to pick me up in the airport, they also took the postcard out of the post box, and they have just buried my sheep.
Oh, heavens.
And in that way, I was terrified that I knew that she was dying a week before she was dying. And again, later on, when I was 19, I had a travel to around Asia and Australia for 4 months. And then I had a dream again about a horse that was going back in Denmark to ride because she was 4 years old now, and I was going to start to ride her. And I dreamt that she was lying on the field dead, and I didn't dare to phone my parents for 5 weeks because last time I had a dream like that, it was coming through, and also this time it was coming through. So in my late teens, I started to have dreams, and I started to be more aware about the spirit world, but I was very afraid of it, afraid of the dreams and afraid of seeing dead people. And in that way, it was a rocky start with it. So I took a Reiki healing course in the mid-20s, and I started with the healing work because I felt safe with the healing work. And from that on, it just developed very quickly because it was part of my ability to work with healing and work with the spirit world. And then I was educated a psychic medium when I was 30.
Are the people in Denmark very open to the supernatural?
They have. When I started up a little over 70 years ago, I didn't find the interest that intense. It was there, but there was a lot of superstitious things about it, and in that way, I have found that the last 2 decades have made a very big change now. It's much more used and much more recognized. Also because a lot of children and youngsters in Denmark expressing those visions of seeing or hearing or being in contact with something that the grown-ups cannot see. And they, instead of going to the doctor, they also consult a healer or a psychic medium to help the kid to, control what they are seeing or explain the parents how to deal with it. So it has been a development for the past 20 years that's for me, a positive direction because it's actually a natural part of being human.
I understand you've also had experience with knocking sounds or knocking noises.
Oh, yes, I have. Mostly because you should remember some of I was very much afraid of seeing spirits when I was not trained yet, and I think because of that I have been developing my clear feeling, clear emotional part very much. So I sense the presence, but I don't see them. And I also find that the spirit often is quite, they take care of me, so I'm not getting so much frightened, or, when somebody really jumps into you, get like a little shock, like, oh, what? So many of my colleagues have been having those more manifested sounds and stuff like that. And I was standing in my bathroom thinking about that maybe it wasn't a part of my skills to hear stuff, like having energy fields that the spirit could manifest themselves by sounds or movements. So I was thinking about that, and then suddenly there was a big knock on the door, really 3 big knocks. I like, bam, bam, bam. I was like, okay. And the bathroom was inside a very little flat. There was no one that was able to come into the door at all.
Right.
It's like, okay, I got it. So it's a part of my skill, but I haven't been developing it yet. So thank you very much. And for now, no thank you. So that's a part of it, but I have had a lot of different kinds of experiences with that.
So now when you see a dead person or a spirit, how do you feel?
It's much more like I work with what you call people that have passed over into the light.
Mm-hmm.
And when they come with healing, with love. They come with messengers and guardians to the loved ones. And that's a really, really, really enjoyable and meaningful job for me, to be like a channel for that. So when they arrive with a big wish to do good, and they are in the light. When we talk about a near-death experience, people talk about a tunnel of light where there is peacefulness and where there could be contact with deceased loved ones and angels and maybe Jesus. In that light, when I work, I'm connected with that light. It's like I'm connected with that dimension where people that have passed has the easiest access to coming close to me, and in that way I can communicate with them. So I just love being in that in that dimension, or being in contact with that dimension, because there's so much wish to help and wish to meet the loved ones. So for me, it's like love continues after death. It's stronger than death, and I really love to work with that. And then I also work with
All right, Marzcia,
the haunted house.
Marzcia, we're going to have to take a small break here, so please stand by. Exonation, our guest is Marzcia Techau. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, Marzcia. And if you'd like to find out more about Marzcia, visit her website, www.marcia.com, marzcia.com. And we'll both be back on the other side of this break as the X Zone continues with yours truly, Rob McConnell, on the X Zone Broadcast Network, xzbn.net, and on your hometown radio, Classic 1220 CFAJ here in St. Catharines, classic1220.ca. And welcome back, everyone. This is the X Zone. You're listening to us on the X Zone Broadcast Network, Talkstar Radio Network, Mutual Broadcast Network, Voice of Canada Broadcast Network, and of course on your hometown radio, Classic 1220, streaming us around the world from their studios in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada, at classic1220.ca. We're talking about ghost hauntings, things that go bump in the night. We're talking about dream warnings, about death, knocking sounds, lights, and healings. And our special guest here tonight is Marzcia, and she is in Copenhagen, Denmark. And I have to ask you this question. With all the talk that we've had from the President of the United States about Greenland, how are the people in Denmark taking him? Are they taking him seriously, or is it just hot air?
We are taking it in Denmark quite seriously, and the in Greenland as well. The Inuits are also taking it very seriously. So it's something that is very much discussed, and concerns about that very much in Denmark and Greenland.
Well, as you know, here in Canada, the president was saying that he was going to make us his 51st state, and Canadians are saying no way. So we will stand with our brothers and sisters in Greenland as part of the NATO group. And so we know exactly what you're going through, and God bless you all.
Thank you, and bless you as well, Rob.
Let me see. You're well known in Denmark for your work with haunted houses, both on television and as a central part of your career. Can you explain how you do this kind of work?
Yes. So what I see here is like haunted houses for me is more like earthbound spirits that when it was their time and the light was showing up, like this tunnel of light where the dead ones are standing, your loved ones are standing, inviting you over in the light, helping you to cross over. Somehow the earthbound spirits haven't passed away. They are somehow stuck, mostly emotionally or connected to a place. And many of them have unsolved problems like fear, anger, living like they normally did when they were real alive. So somehow they are not really aware of their death, or they have some fear about passing over. So when I come into a haunted house or assignment like that, I start to make a healing of the area. Like if you're making a cleaning, and then the really big problems are getting much more clear when the dust and the gray stuff is away. So when I do a healing, I start to heal the area, and then I found out which of the earthbound spirits are making problems for the living, who needs help, and which spirits are actually here to help and protect the family. So when I work with a assignment like that, I found out which ones from the spirit world are coming to help and helps the family, and which earthbound spirits are going to have healing to go into the light. So in that way, I also connect with the family of the earthbound spirit on the other side, and ask for help from the spirit world to make this transition from one dimension to another dimension. So I see it as a healing assignment where someone somehow has got stuck in often these heavy emotional stuff. And they could be quite unpleasant, but most of the time it's because they have some unsolved problems, or they haven't realized that they actually are not living anymore, and they are often very affected that other people are living in their house and tearing down walls and stuff like that. So I see it as a very big healing assignment to help the earthbound spirit to pass over, and I used to help on both the living to, the spirit that helps the living in the house, the one that lives there now, and also the help from the spirits that knows the the dead one.
How long does it take you, and how do you prepare to do a spiritual exorcism of a house where you take the spirit that has been landlocked and send them to the light with their other family? How long does it take, and how do you prepare yourself?
It's it could be mostly I prepare myself some days ahead to connect with the healing energy, and my energy should be quite strong, and I should have power enough. And I also send you can send healing to assignment that you haven't had yet. So I also send healing to prepare my energy at the day, and the energy in the day that it's good enough for me, strong enough for me to make the haunted house assignment. So I will prepare some days, and I will use the contact to the healing energy and the guide team that helps me with that assignment. And at the day, I will start to in the head. I will start to make a distant healing on the house, just to clean up. And there could also be something that's not earthborn spirit. It could also just be heavy energy and negative emotions from other people living there before the family is moved in. So it could also be like energy, emotions that are hanging in the walls. So I just, what's spirit, what's not spirit, all that I got clearer in a distant healing before I enter the place. And then when I enter, I just use my senses and use the contact to the spirit world, and then I do the work. And it's depending on how difficult the case is. And normally there is really many spirit presence, both them helping, the loved ones from the people living there. They really just want to protect their family, and in that way, sometimes I also educate the people living in the house how to use their spiritual gifts, because mostly when there are highly spirit activities and physical phenomena, it's because someone there has the power or skills to use to have this contact with spirit world. So I have to find out which person in the family has these abilities, unknown probably. So I have to train them to have control of their own spirit or their own psychic abilities. So it's not just about releasing an earthbound spirit. It's also preventing that there will be problems again. And it's in that part, it's just like connecting the people living there with their own spirit family members, and also some training of the one living there so they can cope with their skills in a better way. And it's also a healing. If you have problems with with people being angry at you or trying to dominate you. So if you have some of those patterns as a living, you will also have the problems with the death, because they use, a person that's dead is just a living person without a physical body. So if this living physical, not physical, dead person is making the same, like dominating you as a living person, then you have to heal up why people can dominate you. So you will not, open the door for a dominant person if it's a dead one or a live one. In that way, I have to heal the living, I have to educate the living, and I have to connect the living with their own loved ones, and in that way create a lovely and peaceful home. And I have to help the deceased over in the light and continue the journey the right place. So in that way, it's a quite big assignment when I work.
Now, when you work, do you work alone, or do you work with other people that help you and give you support during the transition of the spirit from this realm to the light?
I normally work alone,
Okay.
But for the last many years, because I also have my own school now, both a healing education school and also for psychic readings. And a part of that is also having my students to make haunted houses work as well. So mostly now I go out with a group of students that I teach haunted houses skills or teach the work. So normally now when I'm out, I have to also keep track of my students and the people living in the house and the dead ones, that earthborn spirits and also the good spirits. So it's a really, really big assignment, but I love it. But if it's a really intense case, I use help from my colleagues, so we could be more out there. When I started up doing the haunted houses work, we were one or two. We were 2 or 3 persons out to a job like that, and after some time I just did it myself, and for now I just do it when I train my students. So it's, and when I went to a TV show, I had been in a TV show in Denmark for some years ago with haunted houses, and then normally it would take hours to make, because a TV team has we should have lunch now, or just say that again. It's like, okay, I'm in the middle of a healing job, but of course I can hold the spirit a little longer. So it's depending on the case. I would be alone or would be with someone helping me and supporting me. It could also be colleagues that send energy in. Sometimes I've been helping colleagues by sending healing energy, distant healing, to the assignment or the job when they were working. And we have been working with healing or cleansing schools. I've been working from Denmark, and it could be a school in Norway or a school in Germany, that we were a team that put energy into the work, so that the mediums at the place, at the location, could have extra help. Because
all right,
when
Marzcia, we have to take a break.
With big areas.
Marzcia, please stand by. We've got to take our break. Exonation will be back on the other side of the short break as the Exxon continues with yours truly, Rob McConnell, from our broadcast center and studios in St. Catharines, Ontario, on the Exxon Broadcast Network, and live on radio throughout Ontario, Northern New York, the state of Pennsylvania, and around the world, streamed by your hometown radio, Classic 1220, streaming us at classic1220.ca. Exonation, we're talking to Marzcia Techau from Copenhagen, Denmark. And if you'd like to find out more about Marzcia, please visit our website at www.marzcia.dk. I'm sorry, no, that's .com. That's
.com, yeah.
Yeah, that's marzcia.com. What is it like the first time one of your students actually get involved with a spirit?
When it's many of my students, the students that I accept on my school, many of them have had contact to spirit the most of their lives, or when they were kids, and then closed down because they were afraid of it. So I have people on my school that normally have had experiences before, but still, when you're grown up and you're getting the training, it could be really overwhelming to sense the presence of the spirit world. But as I explained it, it's like you have a sensory system that senses the presence of other people's, what how the person really is. You're sensing the emotions, you're sensing the presence of them. And that part of your sensory system, if you turn that into the spirit world, you can sense the presence of the spirit world as well. It's like what you normally noticing in a person could be it is a nice person, or a loving person, or a peaceful person, or a person full of life. And then in that way, when you use your sensory system to sense the spirit world, it could be, suddenly they start to recognize that they are sensing a soul, and they are sensing that person's personality and their wishes. So they could be quite astounded by the change, but they can accept it because they can recognize that it's actually the same things they do. So my students normally, get surprised, but then recognize that, okay, it's just a change of where I put my senses to. So when you are starting to control your senses, so you can say, now I'm sensing a dead person, now I'm sensing an angel, now I'm sensing a living one, then it's getting easier. So mostly they are astounded, but really love to have the contact.
What is your opinion on Ouija boards?
In Denmark, youngsters or teenagers are using something like the Ouija board, or just we call it the spirit in the glass, where you are having some fingers on the glass, and then the glass could go over to some numbers or some letters, and then you can spell something, and it could be hi from grandma or something like that. And that's quite the same as Ouija boards, just the Ouija board is much better developed. So what I normally say is that you should have respect for working with the spirit world, and you should have some training. So you should be sure that you're connecting with, again, as I was describing before, I normally use what I call a pillar of light, which is like the dimension of the dimension where people from near-death experiences are talking about this tunnel of light. I call it the near-death I call it the ray of light. And when I'm present with myself in the light, and I use my sensory system and my contact to sense that dimension, then you can use the Ouija board very nice, because you know who you're in contact with. You're trained to be the right contact. But if you're not trained, it could also be an earthbound spirit that really is not really a good soul. So if you work with that, you should have training, and you should be sure that you are connected with the right source, instead of just, in Denmark, it's like when the kids are using it, it's like, is there anybody there? And of course there is, but you have to be sure that the ones that you're talking to actually is there for good.
Is there the possibility that people who use the Ouija board, who do not know what they're doing, can actually bring negativity and harm towards them or into this side of the realm?
It's if you're not trained, I would say it could make some disturbance. Yes, if you're trained and you know what you're doing, I would definitely say it could work as good as tarot cards or clairvoyant messages, or also a medium working with loved ones from the other side. So depending on the training, it would be a good quality, or you could actually, have contact to persons that are not really, could have another agenda than just helping you.
What is the scariest thing that you have experienced in the spirit world?
Um, Actually, it was when I was not trained yet. So I was in my start 20s, and I was on a travel to Indonesia and was on Sumatra, in a rainforest. I went as a biologist. I'm having this really very big interest in rainforests. So I went to Sumatra, and I went up to the northern part of Sumatra, where there was a orangutan rehabilitation center, and it was out in the jungle, and it was like cottage that was built of wood, and I was on the first floor, and there was no electricity. There was no light at all in the nighttime. There was so it's like I'm lying in the bed. I have just had a very intense dream about being being hunted by a mixture between an alien and the clown from the thriller movie, and I was really afraid. I was just waking up, totally on the wave. I couldn't move my body at all. Ooh. And when I woke up because there was light coming in through my window, and the light, in the middle of that, there was something that looked like a dark spider. And I was afraid from the light, because I knew it wasn't possible at all to get light up there. There was no light in the jungle at the night at all. There was nothing that could come in with light. But what I was most afraid of was actually the feeling of someone behind me. And I was lying up the wall, next to the wall, and I felt really much that was someone just behind me. And I was totally in freeze. And slowly I started to move, and I really felt that there was someone there, somehow using my energy. And after I was trained a little more, I went back there to that situation. I found out that someone from the light was trying to wake me up, because I was connected with something that actually was just using my energy. So again, because I was an untrained medium, I was also a battery that could be used to recharge low energy. When you're a dead one on the other side, earthborn spirit, you cannot get energy by yourself anymore. You don't have the life force. You have to have the energy from someone. And in that way, I was really, really, really scared. And again, I was in the start of my 20s, and I was like, I will never, ever have anything to do with spirit world. But again, later on, I have had it the rest of my life. So it was really scary, because I didn't know what was happening, and I wasn't trained to make myself in a safe place. I haven't contact with the spirit world that could help me and stuff like that. So I just needed really much to have a training so I could understand, protect myself, and use my abilities in a good way.
You know, when you talk to a lot of people who deal with the other side or who deal with ghosts, they say that it's as if the ghost or the spirit on the other side sucks the energy out of them. Is that because on the other side there is no energy, and in order for them to make contact with us on this side, they have to have energy from some source?
It's again, there is two very different things here. When the soul has passed over in the right way and is in light, there's a lot of energy. But if you're an earthbound soul that's not really um, passed over, then they haven't got the access to their, it's like they haven't got the real access to their soul. If they had that, your soul is light, and your soul is it's connected with the divine all the time. So somehow an earthbound spirit has a lot of blockage, or they have inhibit the access to their soul. If they had the soul, they had passed over. If they don't, they somehow they need to heal up for something to come in contact with the soul and pass over. So because they have this limited contact with the soul, they don't have so much energy, and uh, they need energy from the surroundings. So those really have to have energy, and they will have energy by connecting with people with much light. And that's why I have to train the ones that's a kind of battery for the spirit world. But when you are trained and when you are working with the spirit world, of course you use some energy, because you are giving, somehow you are connecting with the spirit world that's are not, they don't have the life force, the physical energy like we have. They need a physical medium.
We're going to have to take our final break. Please stand by. Exonation, if you'd like to find out more about our guest of this hour, www.marzcia.com. And to Prime Minister Carney and the members of the Federal Liberal Party, as well as to our own representative of the Federal Party here in Niagara, congratulations on your win, and thank you for being part of the solution and for taking this great country of ours into the future. I'm Rob McConnell. Don't go away.
Anything you need, you got it. Anything at all, you got it.
And welcome back, Exonation. Tell me, are you a skeptic or are you a believer? Either way, please send me an email, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, and share with us your experience, whether it's with ghosts, hauntings, UFOs, Bigfoot, unsolved mysteries, monsters, phantom hitchhikers, whatever. We'd love to hear your story. Once again, the email address is xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. That's XZONE at XZONERADIOTV.com. Marzcia, what about guardian angels and angels? Do you talk about them?
Oh, yes, I do. Actually, one of my first contacts that I was feeling safe with was with what I know today was my guardian angel. So I have used that. When I was, I grew up in the countryside, and as every country youngster, they have to go into the big city, even though Copenhagen is not that big compared to many of the big cities in the world. But I had to go into Copenhagen to study, and I moved into a big house that was an old house where a lot of widows were living in small rooms, not in small, they had their own little flat. And now I was living in one of those flats, and there was a lot of spiritual activities. And I was like, even though I still at that time was very afraid of seeing dead people, I was like, when I was lying on the floor looking, it was like a lot of ladies without legs was just flying through the walls. So I was like, not happening, not happening, not happening. So in that way, I was quite afraid of being there because I sensed the presence of the spirit world all the time. So in that way, I started to connect with the feeling. In Denmark, we have a song that we sing in church that's called the Angel of Light. And I was connecting with the Angel of Light. It's like it was coming down, standing behind me, and just lighting up my path in front of me and protecting me. And I was in the start of my 20s then. I still use that contact very much. And it's a contact with the angel and my guardian angel. And I use that contact also when I'm working with kids that needs to have this feeling of being safe, and also of course grown-ups. I see it much like the angel comes and create a safe space where you can be yourself and you can feel that your anxieties are going down and you are connecting with yourself again and grounded, and you can make much better decisions. So it's like the angel creates a buffer zone around you where you can actually sense yourself instead of sensing the surroundings that could be stressful or fearful. So in that way, I use the guardian angel very much, and I also train healers in contact with the archangels and the team of angels. So it has become a very much appreciated form of both healing and context with the angels that I have been using for many, many years now. So the angels has a lot of healing, a lot of wish to help us and support us, and they have the abilities to do that because the angels have very purified emotions and thoughts, and when you're mirroring them, they help us with our disturbance thoughts and help us to get into a more peaceful place or more strength lighting place within our soul. So they can help us very much to stabilize ourselves. So actually I use the angel to grounding and healing to create a space where I can feel safe and I can live my life much better. So I'm not going up to the angels. The angels are coming down and helping me in my everyday life with my everyday choices and path in my life. And I teach my students that as well.
Excellent. Based on your experience and the many years that you've been dealing with spirits and the afterlife, in your opinion, what happens when we die?
I've been working with terminal patients a lot, and I've been talking to people sitting with the dying in the end of their time as also, and what I experience is that when it's time, it's like the membrane between the dimension where our souls are when they are not reborn, and this physical realm is getting thinner, and that the loved ones are coming from the other side to greet you and to help you to the passing. So it's often when you go into a room where there is one that's dying, there is some kind of quietness, peacefulness in that room. It's like the air is different, the energy is different. So there's this contact is coming before the person is dying often. And many dying persons talking about that they are seeing dead persons, they are seeing loved ones, they are talking about, oh, now mother's here or father's here. And when I have been, one of the ones that have been helping, he was very afraid of dying because he didn't feel that he was he was living the best of his life, and he was, he had been a very big businessman, but then, everything cracked, and he didn't have so many money, and he started to have too much alcohol and stuff like that, and he was so afraid of meeting his dad over on the other side. So I was talking to him about that, and then I connected him with, again, what I call the pillar of light, which is this dimension where we are when we are dead, but we are always connected with that, because our soul, it's like our soul's home. It's the same energy. Our soul is divine, and this dimension is divine. So you can have that contact every day. And I connected him with that dimension and helped him to be in contact with the place he was going to when he was dying. And the first he experienced was that his 2 old poodles, he had two, a white one and a black one, and they were coming towards him. And I knew this man for many years, and the dogs was there when I started to know the family. So it was 30 years ago when they died. So both of those dogs were coming, running him to greet him, because now he was coming, to his new home.
Right.
And behind them, the father was there. And because he noticed the love, and he saw his father, and he saw his dogs, he was much more in peace with his dying process, and he died 2 weeks later, and he managed to say goodbye to his family and do the things that was important for him to do. So when we die, we pass over to love and the loved ones, and somehow we are looking at our lives and seeing it all again, but we are doing it from our soul, not from our patterns or traumas. So we are doing it from the greatest part of our energy. And we will be present with our loved ones, on the living loved ones, like we are following them and hoping the best for them. So that's a part of it. You can also, normally I also talk about Michael Newton's job with going to past lives, and he also have a study where between lives, so you can also look at that if you're interested in what happens when you die. And I also use, of course, the contact with spirit world, the loved ones on the other side, to notice how they are feeling and what they are expressing and what they are concerned about. So for me, we are just, we are not physical anymore, but our soul is continuing. So it's like our body has, it has its time, but our soul has a lot of time.
Do you think that we should fear death?
Not really fear death, but of course, what I find very important is that you are content with the life you live, because you only have this life. Even though our soul has many lives, if you believe that, you only have this life with these surroundings, with these people you are connected with in that way right now. So your life is very
precious.
Yes, it is really precious. So it's not like I have fear for dying. I have much more. If you're content and you live your life the way you really feel meaningful, then you can also pass over with more peace. So it's much more like, if you have something that's important for you, that you really feel a calling for, or something that someone you really love to be connected with, just live your life in a good way, then death will come as it should. If you're not living the way you really feel like, it's like, oh no, it can't be time now. So for me, it's not a fear of dying, it's much more a fear of not living the life that I'm meant to do, so I can be in peace when it's my time.
Marzcia, I want to thank you very much for joining us, Marzcia. It's a great pleasure talking to you. I wish you continued success, and I look forward to the next time you and I meet here in the X Zone.
Oh, I will be happy to be back, and thank you very much, Rob.
It's my great pleasure. And X Zone Nation, if you'd like to find out more about my guest, a wonderful lady, visit her website, www.marzcia.com. And she's also the author of Your Soul, Your Life, which was released just here, this January, here in
Oh,
Canada.
yeah, yes.
Yeah.
It's a book about self-healing and healing, so there will be a lot of help to heal yourself and
Right.
understanding your patterns and traumas, but also your good qualities within your soul.
All
and
right,
how to
thank you very
express
much. And X Zone Nation, I'll be back on the other side of this break as the X Zone continues with yours truly, Rob McConnell, right here on your hometown radio, Classic 1220. That's CFAJ here in St. Catharines, streaming classic1220.ca, and on your home on the X Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net. Hour number 2 of the X Zone for tonight starts right after this break.